Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a professor of urology and men's health specialist at Baylor College of Medicine. For the past 2 decades, I've dedicated my career to helping men restore not just their sexual performance, but their confidence, energy, and quality of life. When men cross the age of 70, many begin to notice subtle yet undeniable changes in their bodies. What was once effortless, waking up with strong morning energy and a firm sense of vitality, gradually fades. But according to Dr. Mohit Khera, this decline is not an irreversible destiny. It's simply the body's way of signaling that it needs a little help. In his signature calm and evidence-based tone, he explains that aging does not destroy masculinity. It just slows the mechanisms that once worked automatically. The morning erection, for instance, isn't just about sexual readiness. It's one of the most important indicators of vascular health. It reflects the body's ability to deliver oxygen, rich blood through tiny arteries, which is vital not only for performance, but also for heart and brain function. As testosterone begins to decline and blood vessel walls lose elasticity, the penis receives less consistent blood flow, particularly during the REM cycles of sleep when nocturnal erections naturally occur. Over time, this leads to weaker or absent morning erections. Many men mistakenly believe this is purely a hormonal issue, but Dr. Khera emphasizes that it's equally a circulation and muscle issue. The pelvic floor muscles, which are responsible for pushing blood into the penile chambers and maintaining rigidity, become weaker with inactivity and age. Just as biceps shrink without use, these internal muscles lose tone if they're not activated regularly. That's why a simple 60-second technique can have such a powerful effect. It directly stimulates the blood flow and muscle engagement needed for healthy function. Dr. Khera often describes this as a gentle wake-up call to the body, a way of reminding the vascular system how to perform efficiently. The breathing and contraction cycle he teaches not only tones the pelvic muscles, but also enhances oxygen delivery, nitric oxide release, and parasympathetic nervous system activity, all of which support natural erections. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity: no devices, no drugs, just mindful engagement with the body's own systems. Over a few weeks, this practice can restore responsiveness and improve morning vitality, especially when paired with small daily habits like walking, stretching, and better sleep. He further points out that emotional health plays a huge role too. Stress, anxiety, and self-consciousness about performance can suppress hormonal balance and blood flow. The more a man worries about his masculinity, the harder it becomes for his body to perform naturally. That's why relaxation through deep breathing is part of the process. It trains both the body and the mind to relax into function. Ultimately, Dr. Khera's message is not about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming control. Even after 70, the male body still holds remarkable regenerative potential. With consistency, confidence, and care, men can not only restore their morning erections, but also rediscover a sense of energy and inner strength that many thought was gone forever. It's a reminder that aging is not the end of vitality. It's an invitation to understand the body more deeply and work with it, not against it. When Dr. Mohit Khera speaks about the deeper science of male vitality after 70, he often reminds his patients that every part of the body is connected. Blood flow, hormone balance, and nerve function all work in harmony. When one begins to slow, the others follow. The absence of morning erections is not a random event. It's the result of years of subtle physiological changes. Over time, arteries become narrower due to plaque buildup and reduced nitric oxide production, making it harder for blood to rush quickly into the penile tissue. The heart has to work harder, the vessels deliver less, and oxygen levels in those delicate tissues drop. What follows is not only a loss of function but also a gradual decline in confidence and well-being. Dr. Khera explains that the human body is like a well-designed machine. It needs regular circulation, movement, and repair. When a man becomes less physically active with age, the blood stagnates, and the tissues that rely on constant oxygen supply begin to weaken. This doesn't mean something is broken. It simply means the system needs to be retrained. The good news is that the body remains incredibly responsive, even in the 70s and 80s. With just a little stimulation, it can regenerate and reactivate the same pathways that once worked effortlessly. He points out that the 60-second, lazy man's hack is not about quick fixes or miracle solutions. It's about using your own physiology to your advantage. When you consciously tighten and release the pelvic muscles while breathing deeply, You're sending a direct signal to your brain and blood vessels wake up. Get moving and circulate. This process triggers nitric oxide release, improves the elasticity of blood vessels, and strengthens the tiny capillaries that deliver blood where it's needed most. It's like performing a micro-workout for the internal muscles that most men never realize they have. Dr. Khera often tells his older patients that this small daily effort creates big results because consistency compounds. Doing this for 60 seconds each morning or before bed keeps the pelvic muscles active and retrains the reflex responsible for morning erections. The more the body practices, the easier it becomes to respond naturally again. It's not just about performance. It's about keeping the vascular system young and responsive. He also emphasizes that this simple routine encourages better sleep quality, as it relaxes the nervous system and improves oxygen flow throughout the night. Sleep is when testosterone production peaks, and good oxygenation ensures that the brain and body maintain healthy hormonal rhythms. Over time, many men report not only stronger morning erections but also deeper rest, better mood, and improved mental clarity. In essence, this technique is a bridge between science and self-care. It's proof that you don't need complicated routines or medications to restore vitality. You just need to remind your body how powerful it already is. Dr. Khera's approach is rooted in empowerment, teaching men to take control of their health with mindful awareness and daily commitment. Aging may change the body, but it never removes its ability to heal, strengthen, and revive. Dr. Mohit Khera often says that true male strength is not just measured by muscle or endurance. It's measured by circulation, vitality, and the quiet confidence that comes from feeling alive each morning. For men after 70, this idea becomes especially important. The loss of spontaneous morning erections can feel discouraging. But Dr. Khera reminds his patients that it's simply the body's feedback system asking for attention. It's not a sign of failure, it's a signal for renewal. The key lies in understanding how aging affects the three pillars of male performance: blood flow, hormones, and the nervous system. As men grow older, the arteries that once carried blood freely to every organ start to stiffen, and the production of nitric oxide, a natural chemical that helps blood vessels expand, decreases sharply. This reduction limits the surge of blood into the penile tissue during sleep or arousal. Alongside this, testosterone levels fall by about 1% per year after 40, leading to decreased sensitivity and slower recovery. But what most men don't realize is that the body is still capable of producing these vital compounds. It just needs to be reactivated. That's where techniques like controlled breathing and pelvic engagement become powerful tools. Dr. Khera explains that deep pelvic breathing works on multiple levels. The act of tightening and releasing the pelvic muscles doesn't just build strength. It boosts blood circulation and sends neurological signals to the brain that reawaken dormant pathways. The movement activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for relaxation and arousal. When done regularly, this kind of muscle work enhances oxygen flow and restores natural vascular responsiveness, helping the body regain that strong morning response without medication or external stimulation. He often compares the male body to a car engine that hasn't been started for a while. It might not roar to life instantly, but once you warm it up, clean the lines, and run it consistently, it begins to perform like it used to. The same principle applies here. Men in their 70s can see a genuine difference within weeks of consistent practice. Combined with moderate exercise, hydration, and good nutrition, the effects multiply. Foods rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and minerals like magnesium and zinc support testosterone and circulation, while light physical activity keeps the vascular system responsive. Dr. Khera also emphasizes the psychological aspect of this transformation. Men who lose confidence often develop mental resistance. They assume it's too late to change. But the truth is, when you give the body the right signals, it responds regardless of age. He encourages patience, consistency, and self-belief. The process is not about chasing youth, but about restoring function, energy, and self-assurance. Ultimately, his message is simple yet powerful: your body never forgets how to perform, it only needs to be reminded. A minute of focused breathing and muscle control each day can reawaken the same systems that once operated effortlessly. For men over 70, that's not just hope. It's science in motion, proof that vitality has no expiration date. Dr. Mohit Khera often explains that many men in their 70s underestimate how quickly the body can adapt and recover, even after years of decline. The loss of morning erections, for example, is not a permanent condition. It's simply a reflection of how inactive certain systems have become. The male body is built for regeneration. It's constantly rebuilding cells, balancing hormones, and restoring circulation. When these processes are given the right stimulus, they awaken. That's why Dr. Khera emphasizes that the 60-second pelvic activation routine is more than just a trick. It's a way to reignite those natural mechanisms that have gone dormant. He notes that the pelvic muscles, particularly the bulbocavernosus and ischiocavernosus, play a key role in erectile firmness. These muscles act like tiny pumps that compress blood within the pineal chambers, maintaining pressure and rigidity. Over time, as these muscles weaken, the ability to trap and sustain blood flow diminishes. The 60-second technique directly targets these muscles, forcing them to contract and release in a rhythmic pattern that mimics the body's natural nocturnal activity. It's essentially physical therapy for the sexual system, done from the comfort of your bed. When performed daily, it restores muscle tone and retrains the reflex responsible for morning erections. Dr. Khera also emphasizes the importance of breathing during this exercise. Deep, mindful breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which controls relaxation and blood vessel dilation. When a man practices slow, controlled breathing while tightening his pelvic floor, he's encouraging nitric oxide release, an essential molecule that signals blood vessels to widen. This combination of muscular contraction and vascular expansion improves blood flow efficiency. It's a form of internal conditioning that strengthens the very foundation of male vitality. He often tells his patients that this isn't just about restoring function, it's about rebuilding confidence. A man's sense of self-assurance is deeply tied to his physical energy. When circulation improves, testosterone stabilizes, and oxygen flow increases, the entire body begins to feel younger. Energy levels rise, sleep improves, and even mood becomes more positive. This ripple effect extends far beyond the bedroom. It enhances the overall quality of life. What makes this approach so effective, according to Dr. Khera, is that it's simple and sustainable. There's no need for equipment, medication, or complex routines. 60 seconds a day of focused practice builds a habit that compounds over time. Within weeks, many men report waking up with stronger, more consistent erections and a renewed sense of vitality. These changes aren't coincidences. They're the result of the body responding to consistent, targeted stimulation. Dr. Khera's philosophy is grounded in a single truth: age doesn't erase potential, it only quiets it. By reconnecting with the body through small, deliberate actions, men can awaken strength they thought was lost forever. The 60-second hack is not just a medical recommendation. It's a symbol of empowerment, proving that even in the later decades of life, the body remains capable, responsive, and ready to perform when given the chance. Dr. Mohit Khera often explains that true male health after 70 is not just about hormones or medication. It's about circulation, consistency, and mindset. He reminds his patients that the body never truly forgets how to function. It only becomes less responsive when it's neglected. The 60-second pelvic activation method he teaches isn't a gimmick. It's a gentle signal to the body to reactivate its natural systems of blood flow, oxygen exchange, and muscle engagement. For older men who have lost their morning vitality, this small habit becomes a lifeline, proving that strength and energy are not defined by age but by attention and action. Dr. Khera describes how the process of losing firmness or morning erections begins quietly, often decades before it becomes noticeable. Sedentary lifestyles, poor sleep, processed diets, and chronic stress slowly erode vascular health. The arteries that supply the pelvic region become narrow and rigid, while testosterone production gradually slows. By the time a man reaches 70, these factors combine to reduce blood circulation and responsiveness. But what's remarkable, Dr. Khera explains, is that the body retains an incredible ability to adapt. Even minimal activation, like the simple combination of breathing and pelvic contractions, can trigger the production of nitric oxide, improve vascular elasticity, and recondition the erectile muscles. It's the same principle as physiotherapy: small, focused actions done consistently lead to lasting restoration. He often advises his patients to view the 60-second hack as part of a broader lifestyle reset. Doing it before bed or after waking up helps the body establish a rhythm of activation and recovery. Deep breathing oxygenates the blood, lowers stress hormones, and promotes parasympathetic activity, which is crucial for natural arousal and relaxation. At the same time, The contraction and release of pelvic muscles strengthen the region that supports erections and bladder control, an area often ignored until it causes problems. Within a few weeks of consistent practice, circulation improves, and the body begins to respond with renewed sensitivity and firmness in the mornings. Dr. Khera also stresses the importance of pairing this exercise with nourishment and recovery. He suggests nutrient-rich foods like spinach, pomegranates, walnuts, and dark chocolate, all known to boost nitric oxide levels and blood vessel health. Gentle movement, such as walking or yoga, further enhances oxygen delivery to the pelvic area. He reminds his patients that the best results come from balance, good nutrition, moderate exercise, regular sleep, and mindful breathing. Perhaps his most powerful message is psychological. Many men over 70 lose faith in their bodies, assuming decline is inevitable. Dr. Khera's approach restores not just function but confidence. He teaches that by dedicating 1 minute a day, a man can reclaim the connection between his body and mind, reigniting vitality and intimacy. Aging, he says, doesn't have to mean losing masculinity. It's about learning how to work with your body's natural rhythm. The 60-second hack is more than a physical practice. It's a daily reminder that strength, stamina, and self-assurance can always be renewed, no matter the age. Dr. Mohit Khera often concludes his advice with a powerful reminder that men in their 70s and beyond still possess enormous untapped potential. The body may age, but its systems never fully shut down. They simply require stimulation and consistency to perform again. He explains that the key to restoring morning erections and overall stamina lies in retraining the connection between the mind, muscles, and blood vessels. When these three work together, even a man in his late 70s can experience a remarkable resurgence in energy, confidence, and physical performance. The 60-second daily practice he recommends serves as a bridge between inactivity and restoration, teaching the body to reawaken functions that have been idle for years. He points out that the reason many older men lose their natural vigor isn't just declining testosterone, it's circulation fatigue. The blood vessels that feed the pelvic region become less elastic with age, the nerves lose sensitivity, and the muscles that once helped trap blood weaken from disuse. However, the body is designed to adapt, and once these systems are reactivated through focused movement and breathing, improvements can happen rapidly. Dr. Khera describes this process as reawakening the internal engine. When a man practices slow, controlled pelvic contractions paired with deep breathing, he's not only strengthening key muscles, but also recharging his entire vascular network. Increased oxygen intake during deep breathing supports nitric oxide release, which helps the arteries open up and deliver fresh, oxygenated blood to the organs that depend on it. Dr. Khera stresses that the benefits go far beyond erections. Men who commit to this practice often notice clearer thinking, improved energy, and deeper sleep. This is because circulation and oxygenation directly affect brain and heart health. A strong cardiovascular system translates to stronger performance in every sense: physical, mental, and emotional. The sense of vitality that returns with improved blood flow is often described by his patients as feeling 20 years younger. It's not about defying age, but about optimizing what the body still has to offer. He also explains that consistency is what turns this small daily act into a long-term transformation. 1 minute of activation every day creates a habit loop that reconditions the body's natural response cycle. Over weeks and months, the pelvic floor becomes firmer, blood circulation improves, and the nervous system becomes more responsive. This is how men in their 70s can reclaim not only morning erections, but also stamina, focus, and emotional balance. Dr. Khera always reminds his patients that health isn't just physical, it's psychological. When a man begins to see progress, his confidence grows, and that mental shift accelerates physical recovery even more. The 60-second lazy man's hack is powerful because it doesn't rely on pills or procedures. It relies on the body's built-in intelligence. For men over 70, this small daily investment of time is a gateway to reclaiming energy, passion, and pride. It's proof that aging is not an ending, but an opportunity